Hello, property nomads. Hope you're well. UK rents have risen at their highest rate since 2016. There's a multitude of reasons for that. But one thing from this article that really makes me smile is that it's its highest level since comparable records began in 2016. That's like saying we've got climate change issues because our climate data actually only goes back to about the 1880s and all hell's breaking loose at the moment. It's not taken into account the thousands of years, millions of years that we've had, or this planet has had before we started recording data. So I'm going to take this episode, take this information with a pinch of salt, because comparable records only began in 2016. So where are we at the moment with UK property? Well, at the moment, we are at the level where demand for rental property is very, very high. Supply of rental property is decreasing. And Economics 101, as we've covered before on this podcast, when you have got a high demand for something and your supply of that product becomes restricted, then prices are going to go up. Basic economics, that's why we're seeing a surge in rental prices. We're also seeing a somewhat surge in rental demand, purely because there are, for various policies that we have in this country and people moving around for work purposes, etc., we're always going to have a strong rental demand in this country. That's going to be like that way for a very, very long time. I doubt that's going to change in your lifetime or in my lifetime. Let's go through this article on the BBC. So it does say that there's strong demand from tenants, a few properties available to rent in many areas, which is creating a mismatch between supply and demand, and this has pushed up costs for many people. I'll give the BBC credit here. That is spot on as what we've just said as well. Prices paid by UK renters rose by about 5.3% on average in the year to July, so just slightly below the level of inflation. And it goes on to say the inflation rate, 6.8% in the year to July. So rents have gone up, but not as high as inflation. High demand from tenants at the same time as landlords reducing the number of available properties is one of the key reasons behind the rent increase. To be honest with you, that is the key reason behind the rent increase. It's as simple as it is. We then have to ask ourselves, why are landlords selling up? Well, landlords are selling up for various reasons. Number one, maybe there's too many rules and regulations in the property sector nowadays. Number two, the government is hitting landlord with tax after tax after tax and unfavorable changes. That's making a lot of landlords, certainly older landlords, put their hands up and go, stop this, I'm out. It's just way too much now. There's way too much red tape and bureaucratic burden. I'm out. And by doing that, by landlords selling up their properties, they're not necessarily selling up to other landlords. So therefore, the supply of rental properties decreases, whilst the demand is either remaining the same or has increased. That's why we are in the situation where we are. Nice little graph here, source on Rightmove. Rental inquiries have more than trebled. So the Northwest in particular, I've seen the highest increase. Again, not surprising if you look at everything that's going on in the Northwest of this country. You've got great cities, you've got Liverpool, you've got Manchester, you've got the M6 corridor, you've got the West Coast Main Line, you've got a lot more industry appearing in that area now. And for those people that live in the South and that look to moving up north, I would imagine the Northwest of England is one of the first places you think of, just because you can get a good blend of the city life, the rural life, or you could be in the middle with loads and loads of things to do. Britain in general at the bottom there. So yeah, Northwest predominantly that's where rental inquiries have increased the most, followed by Scotland, the Southwest, the West Midlands, and good old East of England. And you can see the list there. So very interesting to say the least. The UK rents rise at the highest rates since 2016. You must remember that what that article is saying is that rental comparables have only happened since 2016. So, are they the biggest increases in history? I don't know. We're probably never going to know. I'd argue probably not. But we've got to look at the perfect storm of what's happening at the moment. Landlords are not being forced to sell up, but because of the amount of regulation and burden that's has come in, that will probably continue to come in, then a lot of people are holding their hands up and selling. That means that supply of rental properties is decreasing, demand is remaining the same, or it is increasing, one of the two. Therefore, prices will increase as a result. And that's why we're seeing very high rental increases at the moment. And that is going to continue for a very, very long time, as we've been saying before on Property Nomads podcast. Thank you for listening to Property Nomads. As always, if you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please go ahead and go across to just search Property Nomads on YouTube. Like and subscribe that channel. We do a lot more content on the YouTube channel. And if you're listening to this on YouTube, head over to iTunes, Spotify, check out Property Nomads, subscribe, and more importantly, leave us a review, because that helps us get our message out to many more people moving forward. So thank you very much. Until next time, hasta luego.